I remember one time we were working with a client on, or actually a group of clients, to understand the travel and tourism experience in their state. And we had done the research, and the research was provocative, but we really needed them to get their statewide partners on board. And so we brought them together and really kind of did an immersive review of the insights to help these organizational leaders, brand leaders kind of hear the stories, understand what was happening in the travel experience, and then do something about it. So the first thing we did was we almost always in those days would open up our sessions with a clip of a story. And we shared a story about a person who had traveled to, in fact, one of the sites whose CEO was in the room. And I didn't connect those dots beforehand, so we were sort of committed because the slide had that story, and it was a well-known historical site. And we read how this visitor had really struggled to be there because they were talking about their lived experience, and they felt like the people, the staff, the folks who ran that site didn't know how to connect with people like them. And it showed. It showed in them not being able to make eye contact. It showed in them not being able to talk about the historical subject matter. And it was a horrible experience for everybody. And we showed that, of course. And the unintended but beautiful consequence was, rather than getting defensive, that particular leader got quite humble about it. And I left a part out. The reason why they got humble is because we started the experience by saying, before we get into this, we want to help you put yourself in the eyes, ears, mind, and shoes of these travelers. So I want to ask you about a time where you ever felt like you didn't belong at the place you were visiting. And most of the folks were like, took them a minute or two, but they could recount one. Some of the folks were like, I've never felt that way. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I've never been a place where I didn't belong, and now I realize that that's part of the problem. So we had kind of prepped the ground, but I didn't realize that the next slide was about this person's site. And that was kind of a magical moment because it could have gone really badly from that point forward. We could have had a really hard time just because of the defensiveness. But I think so often what we're really trying to do, yes, we're looking at customer experience, employee experience, guest experience, but what we're really trying to do is to get that leader, that CEO, that brand leader, that product leader, to understand the experience at a deep enough level to drive change. Because they know a lot about who, what, where, when, how. They don't really understand the why. So we're trying to get them to understand the why, and that comes from the story.